Hello, welcome to Beth Roars, where we look at your favourite singers to find out what makes them them. Before we start, you can find me on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. My handle is @BethRoars, and I hold loads of votes on my Instagram, so you guys can vote on who I react to. Also, please do check out my website, bethroars.com, where you can book a singing lesson from me. And last but not least, head over to my Patreon, which is patreon.com/BethRoars, where you can get some more exclusive content, and you can also help out an underprivileged artist, as I have set up a scholarship fund with the Sing Space. Check that out on Patreon. I talk a little bit more about it there. This one is a request from one of my patrons, and watching this singer, Morgan James, was the best gig I have ever been to. I went to this tiny little gig in London, and it wasn't even full, and it was her and her band, and her sense of style and sophistication and technique. Oh, it was fabulous, the way she connected with the audience. I mean, I think she was incredible, so if you ever get the chance to see her live, do go and see it. But this performance, I've seen it before, but I'm going to react to it anyway because it's awesome. I just love Postmodern Jukebox as well. The arrangements.
Every time I look in the mirror,
her voice is a hug.
all these lines on my face getting clearer. The past is gone.
Oh God, it just makes you feel, doesn't it? It's awesome. It's awesome. What you may be surprised by is that she actually trained at Juilliard as an opera singer, and she uses opera as the base for all her singing. Now, she's so souly, and the technique in terms of placement is really different, but boy, her breath control is great, and that obviously comes from her opera. I would love to hear her sing opera. I think she'd be awesome, and I know she's got some crazy whistle notes. I don't think she does it in this cover, but yeah. But anyway, her vowels are amazing. Time. She just has such a sense of style.
Isn't that the way?
James Bondy.
Everybody's got their dues to pay. Yeah, I know nobody knows where it comes or where it goes. I know it's everybody's sin. You got to lose to know how to win.
She just has that balance. So normally when you're trying to make that big warm sound, people's mistake is that they put too much energy in. They kind of get a bit yelly. She is not yelling. She is not pushing into anything. She has just found a super resonant place in her voice. So often it isn't about putting that energy in. It isn't about shouting. You've just got to find the place. Feel the buzz in your face. It's all about the buzz. Now, she says about her opera training, she lives somewhere between the strict conservative practices of the classical music world and the loose, wild rock and roll world. That is exactly right. You can just see that technique is perfect, but then it allows her to express in this really modern, wild way. It's great. And she was also on Broadway, so she can sing.
Written pages, lived and learned from fools and from sages. You know it's true.
well. I love the strings. Okay, so how do you get that volume? People, again, I'm going back to this idea of yelling. People often go like, ah! And they push up that chest voice and it becomes really yelly. It isn't about that. It's about finding resonance. So you can find this later on if you're doing Now, she has said something. There's a quote here. Let me find it, where she says, a singer's instrument is always with them. My whole body is my instrument. And in this quote, she talks about how she looks after her entire body because that's important. But also, it is true for singing in terms of technique. Now, your sound starts in the lungs. It starts in the whole torso area. It starts with the rib cage and the movement of the rib cage. So first of all, to find this resonance, we need to be thinking about our in-breath, keeping it nice and relaxed, our shoulders nice and relaxed, our sternum kind of still, and this ribs can move around like this and out like this as we breathe in. Now, often people think of this belly breathing and they think of filling up their belly. What actually is happening is the diaphragm's moving down and squishing your guts, basically, and that's what's making your belly kind of expand. But then what often people do as well is squeeze these outer abdominals, the ones on the front. Now, we do need to use some of our abdominals. You can feel them at the sides. If you go, you should feel them kind of bounce out. But you don't want to squeeze these ones right at the front too much, basically, because if you try that, you get this kind of tight sound. It becomes too much. The feeling of abdominals really should be a symptom of singing rather than the singing being a symptom of this squeeze. So just watch that when you guys are singing and trying to make big noises like that. She does such technically extravagant things with style and subtlety. It all comes from emotion, and that's why it's good, not just to show off. See how she feels it? I love it when you get into a song like that. You can feel it like buzzing in your soul.
Just for today, maybe tomorrow the good Lord will take you away.
Such control. Literally in love. Wow. This is a woman who, for me, has found the perfect balance between working so hard on your technique, but then still being able to express. Sometimes you get one or the other. People kind of get too technical and they can do really fancy things, but you lose the emotion. Or you get people who have loads of emotion and soul and style, but yet can't do the fancy things, and she is both, and that's what I love about her. Now, she also is a crazy hard worker. She sings every single day. She practices every single day. She still gets singing lessons every week. A lot of people stop when they start to do well, but I think that if you really, really want to master something, be the best in the world, which I really think she is one of the best in the world, then that's what you got to do. It's amazing. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please do like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye. Down.